What is the best way to prevent ticks, tick collars, spot on, tick spray, or is there any other natural way to avoid ticks and fleas?
The tick problem is like just dengue, malaria. So like we get tick fever problem in the season and the monsoon season till the monsoon season, where there is an overload of these insects and these ticks and everything. So now the thing is, what is the best way to prevent it? So if we think about the holistic way of going it, these are not, there are a lot of natural ways of also doing it. So natural way is always a regular way. You have to do it every day. So like neem I put, it will not cover the dog for a week or not cover it for a month. So you have to do that practice every day. If you are putting apple cider vinegar, like natural way, then you have to do it every day. So people say, no, we put the apple cider vinegar, still the ticks are not going away. But these get, because it's a natural, it's evaporated and it will again get the tick. So you have, so whatever the natural way of doing it is, you have to do it every day. So if you have a neem powder made at home, good, put the neem powder, but put it every day, because dog will go again to the same dog areas and he will pick the ticks again. What about them? You just put the powder and you just flushed out the current ticks on the dog and put the current fleas on the dog, but once he'll go out for a walk, he will pick it again. So maybe not that day, next day, but in 1 or 2 days the effectivity of a natural thing will go away, because it's a natural thing. It is not going to hold in the dog's body. But on the other hand, there are a lot of things like you said, tick collars and spot ons and tick sprays. I remember when we actually started working with the animals and these products were not there. I'm talking about 10 years back, 10 years back. So that time around we used to only give, people had this thing, the herbal ways of treating it actually, and lot of this thing like injections. They were like ivermectin or doramectin. They were like these kind of injections were given. So okay, tick shot. So it was like a matter thing. Okay, we are going to get the dog a tick shot and the ticks will die and it will cover it for some days and it's good for the dog. So plus the overload of the ticks was very less then, because they were not actually, nowadays there is a resistance also. So what I have practically felt is fipronil also, because overuse of the drug, the drug is not helping. So even though people say initially when we used to put the spot on, it would cover them for good 1 month, but now it is not, it's just 20 days it's wash away. So the people will, even the different medical companies, they claim, okay, you wash the dog then put the spot on, you don't wash the dog, the oil lipid layer is there, don't then spot on. So it's like a thing that I have seen practically, that spot on will only work for 20 days.
Yeah, maximum.
Tick collar is basically a collar, it will just repel the ticks. It is not, it is like a tick band thing. Okay, so the dog will still get the tick on the tail, so he'll pick the thing. So I think if you work in conjugation with the pet owner, like they have to put the spot on also and the tick collar also, so that way they will repel the ticks also, and even if the tick bites the dog, so it is died. Okay, but there is, yes, there is a lot of chemical overload in the body with these things. I would always recommend doing, the hardest part is the natural way, put the do the combing every day, take out the ticks manually, and avoid the areas, overcrowded areas with the dog. Usually nowadays there are dog parks in every society, and unfortunately they pick the ticks from there, that point only. So I say, okay, you just take some other track and take your dog to a separate area, because from the same area he'll keep getting the ticks also. Plus controlling the environment in the house also is very important, because the dog, they usually tend to hide in the crevices in the house. So even if you do so many things, they will again, because they have an affinity to the animal. So they will come and then they lay their eggs and then they multiply and then they are again on the dogs. So there are a lot of over-counter medication apart from tick collar, spot on. Tick sprays are also, you have to do these things daily. They don't help like, because it's evaporated, it's gone out. Only the things which in the system, which you either take through injections or spot ons or some kind of, there is a very good medicine nowadays, is this Mattoo, but a lot of hue and cry for that. But I have till now so far I have researched that drug. It's very much good drug, and it's awesome drug because it will cover you one time take it and it will cover the dog for the 3 years, for the 3 months, 4 months. But the thing is also the question mark there is that you have to consider, because the medicine is going to have effect for 3 months, so you have to actually see the condition of the dog also. If he doesn't have any medical ailment, it has to be checked with the vet. I'm very scared when these products are there online with lot of discounts, people just buying from Amazon, and I was like, I send the thing screenshot to the companies that what's wrong with you are selling this medicine over the on the internet, because it shouldn't be on a person's access. If it is a puppy, what if somebody gives ke 3 mahine tak tick nahi aayega and he gives this thing to the puppy or some, otherwise these drugs are very safe, like at a certain age they even give the recommendation over the, but people don't read the leaflets unfortunately, and they just go with the saying that, oh, somebody has given this thing to dog and it will suit my dog also, and unfortunately they think that they'll skip the vet visit and skip the vet consultation and they'll do everything of their own, and sometimes fortunately sometimes if the dog is safe they'll do it again. So that is even more scary, because this time the dog, something bad will happen to the dog, and I was very scared when people were putting rid applications just like that, and sometimes the dog licking it and fainting, and because a lot of this is a very strong chemical. It has to be, there has to follow a certain protocol. People have to ask vet that how actually we have to do it. I'm not, if Adnan Khan and all these people, if they say okay, I tell them do it to your dog, I know that they know the thing, but not to the journal people out there. So this information has to be like, I think they should be put into some banned drug category that it is not sold anywhere. Everybody, pet shop guy is selling these things, and everybody is selling this. It's scary, because I just want only professionals to have these drugs over there, and everybody is like, we red लगा लेते हैं, ठीक हो जाता है. I said, oh God, भगवान में ठीक है लगा लिया, but I don't know कि अगर उसने लिख किया या कुछ उसका side effect हुआ. I know they must have seen कि कितना serious dizzy हो जाता है dog, और it's like toxicity, it's complete toxic thing there, and it is sold over the counter. I don't know. People should actually through this video, if people understand that I know this is the biggest problem, tick problem is a very big problem, but please have a conversation with your vet, understand the importance of each drug, and if you want to go herbal way, natural way, please do it every day, because once in a week will not help you out here.
Just to add to this, how to make it easy for pet parents, I think what you can do is, you know, on Amazon and all these websites, you get these little spray bottles. Just buy empty spray bottles, put your distilled water in it, or put any normal AquaGuard RO water, and you can add 2-3 drops of citronella oil and neem oil. Just keep that mixture ready next to your main gate. The moment the dog is about to leave for a walk, just, you know, shake the bottle, spray it on the paws and let the dog go.
But I think with the citronella, there was this thing that dogs should not lick it also. It's
only for the paws. So anyway, a lot of people are anyway washing the paws after the dog.
Sometimes I say put little citronella oil drops on the collar.
Where they can't lick.
So maybe if you're using this kind of a bottle, I don't know ml. In terms of ml, this kind of a bottle, maybe 2 drops are enough.
2 drops per ml.
Also, a person should be aware of how much time they are willing to invest in it. Are they willing to do it on an everyday basis?
And then there are other simpler products that you can use, which is, you know, nothing to do with harming the dog's coat. Like, there are waterproof socks available nowadays, where you can just ask your dog, you know, make your dog wear waterproof socks if you're taking the dog specifically to an area where he's exposed to other dogs. So, you know, because ticks generally will crawl onto the body from the paws. So if you have that kind of a protective layering, like my dogs do wear them. I know everybody finds it a bit funny, but
I think, but that you need to,
I've never had any tick issues.
But that you need to do the training also. I remember,
like this,
like this, and
the basic concept is, if you're introducing your dog to socks for the first time in his life, just immediately put the collar on and take them out for a walk, because the focus has to be on the walk and not the sock. And eventually they do get used to it.
Yeah, that's true.
And then there's diatomaceous earth. That's a natural powder that you can put on the spine of the dog. and just make sure that the dog doesn't get any. But then again,
so the
I mean,
diatomaceous
it's very-
earth, in fact, what I want to point out is that it's a very
Don't feed
specific
them.
thing that I want to point out is diatomaceous earth comes in multiple forms.
Yeah.
And when it says food grade, I know of some people, we both know of some people in fact, they assume food grade means that it is edible,
Yeah.
and they have fed that to the dog,
Oh.
right? All these products that we are talking about right
Yeah.
now, they are supposed to be under the category of insecticides, pesticides and poison for ticks.
Correct.
Right.
Ticks is also a living creature and this is poison for them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we can't really
Feed the dog.
feed the dog poison to
So
poison
I
the
tell them that
parasite
anything
inside.
will kill
It's
the
very
parasite.
complicated.
कीड़े मारने की दवाई है. I tell
I
them
give
like
it to my
that,
animals.
so they
So
understand.
they're all topical applications.
Yeah.
And like diatomaceous earth again, in fact, as a
Yeah.
topical application, it's very drying. So the concept
Yeah.
of this powder is that if you put it on something and an animal goes, the powder will dry up the whole body and their whole skin will, like the whole tick will become powder. So you have to always supplement with whatever medicine you're giving
Yeah.
something else, like
Yeah.
you know, measured Bravecto. I would say always back it up with some liver kidney support, because all
Correct.
the ivermectins,
Correct.
Bravectos will always have very big damage
Negative
on the
effect.
liver and kidney.
Absolutely.
And in diatomaceous earth ka case, you also need to add a little bit of coconut
Coconut
oil
oil,
or olive
like
oil
you know,
to
if
the
it's a
dog's diet.
dehydrating agent,
Because it's a
rehydrate
very
the body basically.
drying agent.
And make
Right.
sure
It's
that your dog
extremely-
is getting a lot of water.
Lot of
Yeah,
water,
hydrating,
hydration.
right.
He's
yes.
always hydrated,
So-
because not only the product will dehydrate the ticks on top of the dog, it will also dehydrate the skin and basically may result in some drying of the skin, itching of the skin as well. Make sure your dog is hydrated, he's getting enough water. So
Yeah, and I think one last point I'd like to reiterate, which I think she's already mentioned, is that whenever you have a dog which is already infested with ticks and you're taking them to the groomer or the vet to get a de-tick treatment done, you have to have somebody at home who's also doing the same treatment at home. Because all your doormats, your dog's bed, your blankets, your carpets are all breeding grounds for
Absolutely.
ticks.
Yeah.
So that tick treatment
No,
has to be
yeah,
done.
yeah.
as
I tell them that
dry
okay.
cleaning
Sometimes
of-
I tell
Yeah.
them vacuum clean it, because that's the only way you can,
You can
get
actually
rid of
avoid
them.
it.
Otherwise,
So-
it's
So just doing the tick treatment for the dog or a tick
Yeah,
bath
because
does
the
not
dog
make
will go without
Because
ticks
at
from the
least with
salon,
the-
but the moment he goes back home, he's getting them back again.
at least with the vacuum cleaning, at least the eggs are going away.
Going away,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because
So-
with the tick will stick to it. The flea will stick to it. Maybe people are saying me this thing that what will happen, because tick is still sticking it, and how we can help that. But you are taking away so many eggs. They are
Absolutely.
produced. You don't know how many dander you feel like a dander on the skin also, and you say isko to रूसी हो गई है. They're not रूसी. They're eggs. They're
Eggs.
lying
Eggs,
black color,
basically,
little tiny
Yeah.
tiny. मिट्टी है.
Sometimes they call it
मिट्टी
fleas
है.
also.
They'll just say.
मिट्टी है.
So it's a flea. It's an egg thing there.
Right.
So I want to just suggest in as concise as possible the approach I like to take, because I've been keeping I've had to, ticks is my biggest enemy these days, working in this field. I have had to survive with rotation of 40-50 dogs keep moving at my facility for boarding, hotel and stay and all of that. So I feel one of the most prone, and we keep going to ma'am about it as well, most prone to ticks. So what I did was that I understood this creature, this enemy of mine, as a study, that what are they. So what I want to explain is, first of all, what are they and where they come from. Biggest contributor to these ticks is garbage settlements. Okay, so कूड़ेदान जो होते हैं वहाँ पे ticks की incubation ज़्यादा होती है because of the heat, moisture and the emission from all the food and waste is the
Moisture,
best
yes.
incubation for flies also, mosquitoes also, and ticks also, similar category, right?
Yeah.
They are insects and pests. Now cows are the biggest host to it, bigger than stray dogs. Right? Am I correct? Cows, bovines are the biggest host than donkeys and stray dogs as well. So where you will have, let's say, a tabela or a barn for cows, or you have these stray cows going to the nearby garbage dump, having the garbage, then throwing it around, that will make it more prone to the ticks. Now people assume that if they're living in a high rise in Gurgaon or Noida, the ticks will not come up to there. That's wrong, because again, the higher the floor, the more moisture and more airtight they are.
Oh.
So the cracks and crevices, and I actually have felt that same building, ground and first floor, less infestation than 16th and 20th, because there they make a bigger breeding ground and more host to it. So before you even approach the dog, clean your environment of the of making it a host to ticks. all the way from garbage, all the way from food being thrown the right way, from moisture and keychad coming into the house, from the cracks being sprayed of multiple different things, and then go up to your dog. We see it, you know, sometimes we even had it on our own body, we freak out, we clean the dog, but all the breeding grounds, which could be corners of different things, the ticks are still there. The same time the dog comes freshly from a bath, he lies down, now they've all crawled back on him, and we're saying you didn't groom properly, or you didn't give the right administration or something like that. Then we should be approaching the medicines. Right now for us, medicine is like a, you know, one-time thing that you give the medicine, now you assume that, you know, all सारी ticks ने एक दूसरे को phone कर दिया, इसके घर पे मत जाना, मतलब it's not going to happen like that. The problem is, since we didn't clear the environment, we didn't approach it in the 3 other elements outside of the dog, we will go back for more medication. Now, if the same clinic does not give us, you know, over vaccinating, that, no, you know, ma'am's very responsible, she'll say, no, I will not do RID, I've already done it once, come back in few months, but we're obsessive, no, I will not do ivermectin, we'll go to another vet. Okay, we'll give, you know, in a month we'll give 3 ivermectins and the dog's liver, kidney will collapse. So knowing the results of that is very, very important. Now, in conjunction with, you know, dengue and malaria, most important thing that you know, WHO has a study on it in humans and malaria as a concept, medicine resistance. Okay, every generation of mosquitoes in Africa, or in fact India, when dengue happens and you get the medicine for malaria, right? Every year in newspaper you say new medicine for malaria has been launched for 2018. Why is that? Because today's mosquitoes will die from the today's medicine that is researched. The next gen, because they have left the eggs, like ma'am said, and the life cycle of ticks and even mosquitoes, for example, is 2 weeks. Where a tick is born, they give eggs. So 2 weeks later, even if you've removed all the ticks, you've done the grooming, the eggs will hatch in 2 weeks. So you have to keep the cycle of medication accordingly. Now, same with dengue and malaria, that first generation of flies died with, you know, Advantix, tick collar, bear, or some spot on. The next generation, with that same batch number and same product, will be very resistant and they might not die. So that is why all these tick medication companies, they keep changing their batches of medication.
And you should ensure that you get a fresh one.
The pet owner should also go to the vet and say, give me the newest spot on, instead of saying give me 2 spot ons. I will put one now and put one next month. That way it won't work particularly. These are my observations, because this, like, ticks have been my worst nemesis. So I've had to study them as much as a concept of, you know, studying dogs, for example. Because not learning about them can put a lot of my dogs at big risk, because tick fever like dengue is almost a fatal disease. I've, you know, in my network lost multiple dogs to that as well. And but at the same point of time, I don't want to lose dogs to over vaccinating them, because I'll straight away blame myself.
And here is another fact thing I would like to tell you. Like, people also say that, oh, I saw one tick, but I removed it. I need people to understand that even a single tick fever thing, so it still is gonna cause the disease. It's just like dengue. Single mosquito bite can cause it.
So I could be sitting around a place where there's 100 mosquitoes, I might not get dengue. Someone at home in AC, in airtight, and one mosquito comes and can still give it.
So it's the infected,
same algorithm for ticks basically.
Infected tick, so infected tick can cause tick fever.